Hi, this is Sizemine, and you're watching Chef Trek Adventure Series.
Boom, a boom, boom. He's Chef Trek on the fast track. He's Chef Trek on the fast track. He's shaking and baking and mixing and fixing nutritious meals, nutritious meal. He's Chef Trek on the fast track. He's Chef Trek on the fast track. His food is so good, good. His food is so good, good. His food is so good, good. Chef Trek, Chef Trek, Chef Trek, Chef Trek. His food is so good. Chef Trek, Chef Trek.
Hey, hey, Chef Delmer Gill here, Chef Trek, with another Cooking at Home edition. We're going to do a couple of things, and it's going to be our smoked sausage and black-eyed peas, spice rub chicken breast that's going with some chopped vegetables, some onions, some peppers, some celery, some other things, and we're going to serve that with a quinoa pilaf. So let's start our chicken right now. We have our boneless, skinless chicken breasts. These are the large randoms. And we're going to take each breast and cut in half. As best as possible, we'll cut in half. So we've got our boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And like I said, these are the large size randoms. And we're cutting each breast in half. We're going to take our herb mix. And let's move our cutting board out. We just have a separate cutting board for our meat, our raw meat, our chicken. And what's in here is salt, pepper, garlic. I happen to use some Mrs. Dash and some barbecue spice. And we're going to just lightly dredge each one of these. We'll put them back on the cutting board. We're just dredging them in our dry rub. And we're gonna do this stove top, but you can do this in the oven also. And one more. Now, on our stove, since we are cooking at home, we have our cast iron skillet. Nice and hot and ready to roll. Let's just wipe our little hands here, and we are going to get our grill spray, non-stick spray. This one just happens to be made for grilling, but any of them will work very nicely. We're going to take our chicken breasts and we're going to lay them on our hot cast iron grill. And like I said, we could do this in the oven. It's not a problem, but we're going to do this the way we're doing it. Why? Because this is the way we're doing it. Now, we have water already started, and we're going to cook off our quinoa. And we're going to make our quinoa as we would make our rice. Now, I'll pull this over here so you can see it. We have a covered pot, and most of our pots are from our sponsor, Healthcraft Products of Tampa, Florida. Now this is just another good induction pot that we do have, but here's our Healthcraft here, and our beans, our black-eyed peas, we've already started, since that would take a while, and that's in our Healthcraft pot. We basically have some chicken stock. And we're going to put, like I said, about a half, maybe probably closer to a cup. Our water's been brought to boil already. We're going to cover it back up, and we're going to more or less just kind of forget about it. Ah, Delmer, you almost forgot. I did say that this was going to be a pilaf style quinoa. So oftentimes in our markets you can find a nice assortment of chopped vegetables, which we're going to use with our chicken, but we're also going to mix some of these chopped vegetables down and we're going to add them to our quinoa. Now right now we just have a chicken broth. And you can use vegetable broth, you can use any kind of broth you want. You can use water. But we're just chopping this, it's already chopped, so we're just mincing this little bit down a little bit more. We're going to add that to our quinoa. There we go. Look, that's it. That's good. That's it. That's good. And here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're taking what's in this mix. And also, like I said, the markets have this, but this is basically broccoli, carrots, parsnips, onions, celery. Like I said, a lot of our markets will have this. A lot of markets will carry this product. Now, let's get things going as we get ready for what's going in our black eyed peas and smoked sausage. We have our smoked sausage here. And what else is going with this is celery. Delmer, you're dropping celery on the floor. Get out of there. Our good editor, Saeed, will edit me kicking celery across the floor out, so we won't see that. We've got basically 2 stalks of celery. And we're going to just cut them in half. Just cut them in half. We're going to get our induction burner started with our pan. And we're going to start off, say about 465 degrees. Very nice. So we know we're adding celery. And just chop. No small, no large dice, no small dice. This is about, give or take, 1/4 of an inch, give or take. We're adding that to our pan. And what also we're doing with this is onion. Just a regular white or yellow onion. Okay. And we're going to add a couple of our little colorful peppers over there, possibly. Yes, we will. We will add some peppers. So we have onions, celery. You can use fresh garlic, but I've got dry garlic, a granulated garlic in front of me. We'll go over what our additional spices are in just a minute. So here's our onion. So remember, 2 stalks of celery, about 1 medium-sized onion. Now notice we've got a sizzle going on with our pan. We have not yet put any oil in here, but we will be very shortly. We will be. And I think what we'll do is we'll use 1 green pepper. And this is up to you. Basically, as I always say on the shows, whether it's cooking at home or in the studio, a recipe for you should always be a guideline. It will give you ingredients, proper measurements, and some sort of cooking method. But you may try something and say, hey, I want to do that again. And once you've gotten down to doing a recipe, you may want to alter it to your own liking. And that's perfectly up to you. Perfectly. So now, we have our peppers. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to add some oil. And I think we'll just add a regular corn oil. We of course have some of our oils from our South Philadelphia sponsor, Cardenias. We do have some oils from them, and we may use them in something else, but it's using what you have available. Once again, as I've done on shows, you want to try to cut your vegetables completely so you don't have to be monkeying around with them. There's a little corn oil on this, and we will use one of our Cardenias in a bit. We have our quinoa started, so we're going to give a little stir, a little stir, a little stir. And like I said, we started our black-eyed peas earlier because they will take a little longer, and we're giving them a stir. Now, it's time to do our sausage. And this is just a smoked sausage. This is a combination of pork and chicken. You can use whatever sausage you like. You might like a vegetarian sausage. You might like an Italian sausage, hot or sweet. It's totally up to you. But I decided that this would be done with just a pork and chicken smoked sausage. Could be it was on sale, I can't rightly say. Sausage, that's all. Into that we're going to add our kosher salt. Oh, give or take about half a teaspoon. We did talk about our garlic, our granulated garlic, our cracked black pepper, and we're going to add just a little bit of chili powder and a little bit of cayenne pepper and a splash of crushed red pepper. Optional, it's up to you. And we're going to take our spoony woony and give a stir. I'm using what I have on hand. And oftentimes, folks, I emphasize on these adventures, use some products that you have on hand. But you might do some sort of different method with that product. Or if you want, look, people ask me, Chef, where do you get your ideas for your shows? Many of them just come straight from here, or oftentimes I'll do research. We are in, what's this thing we call this internet? What's it called?
Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi or super something, the World Wide Web and all of that.
World Wide Web.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So oftentimes I'll go to the internet to explore or research an idea. And then when I find something I may want to use, be it for just at home or for a show, I can use it just as it is, but oftentimes I improvise. And this is what I stress to you folks, learn to improvise. Learn these recipes, whether they're a handed-down family recipe like I've always had, from my grandmother and my mother. There's always auntie somebody or grandma somebody or grandma and them that have some family recipe. And you can take those and do them as they are, or go online and do the same thing, do as they are, or improvise. I always stress improvise. So we have our red onion. We're going to put in here the green and the orange pepper, and we'll see. And once again, we're cutting this into, say, a 1/4-inch dice. So our red pepper, 1/4-inch dice, and I can use the white pepper. I could use the white onion. We've got our onion. We'll set that aside. We have our green pepper. And as usual with a pepper, you're going to cut it in half, remove the membrane and seeds. And here's our orange pepper. We're going to put this in our bowl with our red onions. And here we have a nice colorful blend here. And once again, as I said, when you're cutting, try to cut thoroughly through so you don't have to end up breaking things up with your hands. But if you do, you do. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right. Let's take a look at our sausage and pepper situation. And this is coming along very nicely. Very nicely. Now, it's time for chicken, folks. Chicken. We're going to cut our burner off. We're going to get our spatula. And we're going to take our red cutting board, which we cut chicken earlier, and we're just going to flip it. But we will have to cut maybe something else on that other cutting board later, and we'll get to it if the need should arise. So now, here are our herb rub chicken breasts, boneless, skinless, random chicken breasts. These are still hot, and as you see, I'm trying to be very careful. So we're going to cut them in a little bit bigger than the vegetables, maybe about a ½ inch. And like I said, straight off the grill, and they are hot. And they're also done. Now, we're going to double check this anyhow, but we know they're done. This is the little handy dandy thermometer, which we always need to use thermometers when we're on the job. You want a temperature of 165 for your chicken. Nothing, but even though this is going to be cooked some more, but you want to get, like 165. And actually, I'm at almost 170. So we know we're doing okay. Alrighty. We've got to check on our quinoa in just a minute. And we're going to switch up. We have our sausage here in our induction burner right next to me, but we have other things behind us roaring and cooking so nicely. Now we're going to check on our sausage. We are going to get a little bowl, and we're going to add our black-eyed peas, which have been cooked partially, and they can finish cooking. Now, let's just set this out the way. Now, we're going to take another one of our pans from HealthCraft. Chef Charles Knight, our man from HealthCraft in Tampa, Florida. We've been blessed. Here's a man that his company has been supplying us with some of their fine cookware since before coming to Philly Camp, but definitely since 2013. They have been a sponsor of our program, along with Rockland Bakery, which serves fine quality baked goods for New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. But yes, Charles Knight. I said, Chef Knight, I've been using the pans, bless you for sending them, but I said, what can you recommend for me to restore them? And he told me, he said, get Easy Off Oven Cleaner, put your pans on your burner and get them slightly hot. Go outside, he says, and he emphasized that. And me being sometimes hard-headed doesn't always listen. Go outside, spray them with Easy Off, let them sit for a long period of time. Then later on, an hour, 2 hours, whatever, bring them in the house and scrub them with Bartender Keeper's cleanser. And lo and behold, these pads came out looking like they were brand, as I like to say, spanking new. Now, we are going to add the basil olive oil from our Cardenia sponsor, and we're going to add just a little bit of corn, not a lot, but the flavor of the basil will shine through. And we're going for our maximum temperature here, to start things off, which is 425 degrees. Now it's time to hear a sizzle. Here we have our red onions, our orange and green peppers, and our, no, we didn't put celery in here. There we go. Like I often say, when you hear the sizzle, you know you're cooking. Marvelous, simply marvelous. Let's get our little spoon. We're going to give a stir, and a stir. And we're going to let that go into these vegetables cook and begin to become a little on the tendery side. We're sauteing actually. While we're waiting on that, we're going to take a look at our quinoa. Now, I'm laughing to myself because I have grabbed a green spoon. Those of you that follow the show would know why I shouldn't use a green spoon in the studio. I'll just leave it at that. Here is our quinoa. And basically, this is done. We have our chopped assorted veg in here, and we can serve this with the chicken. We can even serve this with the black eyed peas and smoked sausage. Now, as I hear things are sizzling, kosher salt. And like I said, you can use fresh onion, but I'm using the granulated fresh garlic Delmer. Or you can use onion. There is a granulated onion that I also like to use. So, we have our red pepper. No, we don't. Delmer, get this straight. Pew, pew, pew. We have our red onion, our orange and green peppers in here. And like I said, our chicken's going in this. And right about now, guess what? We can add our chicken. And here it is, here it is, here it is. Chop in our fresh rosemary. When it comes to rosemary, the dried rosemary is nice, but the fresh with any herb is better. But I've found out oftentimes when using the dried rosemary, depending on what you're doing, but you might want to also chop that. Now, we're just going to use our hands and just do a little mix. So we have salt, pepper, rosemary, and granulated garlic. And this is going on a sheet tray, which once again you will spray. And we're going to add this, and we're going to place this in our 400-degree oven for about, give or take 15-20 minutes, maybe a little more, but until they're nicely brown and cooked softly. Okay, now we've got our potatoes, our roasted red bliss potatoes in the oven, our festive little smoked, our little chicken with our vegetables is going, our quinoa basically is done, and our smoked sausage and black eyed peas are just about there. When we come back, we'll put this all together and show you how it looks.
TroopResource.org supports the Chef Trek Adventure Series. TroopResource.org, trying to put 1,000 skills into every troop's backpack.
Okay, now we've come to a conclusion. Now on our chicken and peppers and onions, we are going to bring this back up, and we've decided to add, I say we'll bring this back up. There we go. We've added to this about a cup, and we're just going to let that continue to simmer for just a few short minutes. But we will look at our other things that we've done. We're going to take out our oven roasted potatoes first. little spatula situation here, and we're going to just put these in a bowl for serving. Remember, these are just red bliss potatoes cut into wedges, salt, pepper, granulated garlic, and fresh rosemary. Here's our quinoa pilaf, and we're going to put that in here. We're going to put that in here. Yes, indeed we will. And this is just the regular white quinoa. I like to use very often the tricolor quinoa, and you can use that. But guess what? If you want to use some other grain for this, feel free. But like I often say with these shows, use what you have on hand. And I happen to have quinoa on hand. Very often on our studio shows, we're blessed by having our sponsor, Rockland Bakery, to provide us with rolls, pastries. But we're at home, so guess what? We have some nice, come on, we have some nice biscuits here. We're going to set these out. Yes, yes, I smell them. Oh, the joys of the cooking at home. Because I am home. This is the very home that as a wee lad, my love for cooking was instilled in me by my marvelous grandmother and my mother. That's Laura Jane Brown, grandmother, and my mom, Laura Steen Gill. So, we're going to just set our, we'll bring our rolls back out. We have our chicken that was boneless, random chicken breast with a nice dry rub, barbecue, spice, salt, pepper, a bit of Mrs. Dash, some garlic. That was our dry rub. And we could have done it in the oven, but we did it stovetop on our cast iron grill. We have our black-eyed peas and smoked sausage. Call it a stew. We have our quinoa pilaf. We have our roasted red bliss potatoes with rosemary, and we have our nice little bake and be oven yourself biscuits. You know what, 400 degrees, 350, 400 degree oven for about 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and there you have it. Once again, folks, it's such a blessing to be able to come into your homes, and I love doing these because I'm in my home, coming into your home, showing you just another one of the culinary journeys that you too can go on. Chef Delmer Gill, be seeing you again in reference to our studio shows. If you are a culinary artist, if you are a musical artist, a spoken word artist, or a dance interpretation artist, contact us because we'd love to have you on our studio shows. So until next we meet, and I'll be in your home often. Faith, family, friends, and food. My co-host and best friend says thank you also. Till next we meet, Chef Trek out.
Boom, a boom, boom. He's Chef Trek on the fast track. He's Chef Trek on the fast track. He's shaking and baking and mixing and fixing nutritious meals, nutritious meals. He's Chef Trek on the fast track. He's Chef Trek on the fast track. His food is so good, good. His food is so good, good. His food is so good, good. Chef Trek, Chef Trek, Chef Trek, Chef Trek. His food is so good. Chef Trek, Chef Trek.